There is a friend in your life right now who is slowly poisoning your spirit, and you have been calling it loyalty. You have been calling it faithfulness. You have been calling it love. But what God calls it is disobedience. Not every person who smiles at you is for you. Not every person who stays close is safe. And the Bible makes it painfully clear that the wrong choice of friendship can redirect your entire spiritual life without you ever noticing it happened. Proverbs 12:26 says, "The righteous choose their friends carefully, but the way of the wicked leads them astray." Notice the word carefully. Friendship is not random. It is not automatic. It is a choice. And today we are identifying 6 types of friends God specifically warns you to walk away from. Not because He wants you to be alone, but because some friendships are costing you far more than you realize. Type 1 is the gossip friend. This is the friend whose mouth is a revolving door and everything you share with them walks straight through it. The things you told them in confidence become currency used to make them appear closer to you than others. Proverbs 20:19 gives a direct command about this. A gossip betrays a confidence, so avoid anyone who talks too much. The word is avoid, not confront and hope they change, not give them another chance. Avoid. Because a person who shares your secrets with others will eventually share someone else's secrets with you. And that cycle of broken trust becomes the foundation of a friendship built entirely on sand. If you have a friend who knows everyone's business, they know yours too, and they are sharing it. Type 2 is the anger-driven friend. This is the friend whose life is a constant storm, and they want you standing in it with them. They are perpetually offended, perpetually in conflict, perpetually angry at someone or something. They disguise it well, sometimes as passion, sometimes as justice, sometimes as just being real. But every conversation is a complaint, and every meeting ends with you feeling agitated, carrying anger that was not even yours to begin with. Proverbs 22:24-25 gives one of the most specific friendship warnings in all of Scripture. Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. The warning is not that they will hurt you directly. The warning is that you will become like them. Anger is contagious, and if you spend enough time with an angry person, their spirit will transfer to you slowly, invisibly, but inevitably. Type 3 is the envious friend. This is the friend who loves you as long as you never surpass them. They look exactly like a supportive friend until the moment you are blessed, promoted, or God answers a prayer they were still waiting on. In that moment, the mask cracks. When things were difficult, this friend was the most present and caring. But when things went well, they suddenly disappeared. Their friendship was not built on love, it was built on comparison. Proverbs 14:30 says, "Envy rots the bones." If someone's love for you depends on you never exceeding them, that is not friendship. That is a cage with a smile painted on the bars. Type 4 is the spiritually indifferent friend. This is the friend who does not attack your faith. They simply make it irrelevant. I'm not talking about friends who are not yet believers. We are called to love everyone and be a light in the world. What I am talking about is a close inner circle friend who has heard the truth, who knows what you believe, and has made a settled decision that none of it matters. Every time you mention what God is doing in your life, they change the subject. Every time you suggest praying together, they make a joke. And slowly, without realizing it, you stop mentioning God in their presence altogether. Your faith does not die, it just goes quiet. And a quiet faith is a shrinking faith. 2 Corinthians 6:14 asks, "What fellowship can light have with darkness?" If your closest friend makes your faith feel like a burden to carry rather than a fire to share, that closeness is costing you something eternal. Type 5 is the controlling friend. Control rarely announces itself. It creeps in wearing the costume of care. It sounds like I am just looking out for you. It sounds like you should not make that decision without talking to me first. And before you realize what is happening, you are living your life according to someone else's approval rather than God's direction. The most alarming part is that whenever God prompts you to do something bold, start a ministry, take a step of faith, pursue a calling, the controlling friend is always the first voice to discourage it. Not because it is a bad idea, but because it was not their idea. Galatians 5:1 says it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Stand firm then and do not let yourselves be burdened again by a yoke of slavery. If a friend makes you feel guilty for following God's leading without their permission, that is not friendship. That is a yoke. And Christ already removed that from your shoulders. Walking away from a friendship is one of the hardest things God will ever ask you to do because it feels like the opposite of everything you were taught. Love everyone, be loyal, forgive endlessly. And those principles are true and beautiful, but none of them require you to keep your inner circle open to people who are actively damaging your spirit. There is a difference between loving someone and giving them unlimited access to your life. Jesus loved the multitudes, but his inner circle was 3, Peter, James, and John. Even the Son of God was intentional about who he allowed closest. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. God is not calling you to loneliness. He is calling you to alignment.